This week, I want to see if we can get this old car running, driving, maybe stopping. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll tell you all about it here in just a minute. It's a 1956 Packard Clipper Deluxe. Oh yeah, it's the Deluxe model. If you will recall, we drug this old car home from the Moostang farm a few months ago. Well, here we are. We're going to work on the old thing, see if we can get it running. From what I understand, it is a Packard, but it ain't. Packard spun the Clipper line off as its own entity, if you will. It's sort of confusing. They had junior models and senior models, and I don't know. But it is sort of the base bottom of the line car. It did come in 56 with a 352 cubic inch, 240 horsepower V8. Oh yeah. If you recall, we bought this fella over here along with it. This is a 56 Patrician. It's a fancy model. Oh yeah. And well, the deal is the fella I bought it from, he said his daddy bought this one brand new in 1956. And he said he blew it up doing 95 mile an hour down the highway. Well, you know, several years later, he thought, well, I want to get the car running. We bought this Patrician over here, pulled the motor out of it, and put it in here. Well, for my research, Patricians came with a 374 cubic inch, 290 horse V8. So that very well could be what this motor is. We'll have to investigate that once we get into it. But right now, I want to see if all the tires are pumped up, because we're going to drag this thing to the shop because it's a wee bit chilly out here. I ain't working out in the cold, no sir. I think, if I remember right, all the tires pumped up, except for one of the back ones. We'll have to see about that. I'll get the air tank out here in just a minute. But yes sir, I'm anxious to see if this whole thing's going to run. Well, I got that little pile of junk compressor pumping up that tire. It's pumping it up, it's just really slow. And I found this air tank in the basement. Let's see if it's going to pump this tire up right here. If I can find the valve stem. There it is right there. Well, I do believe it's taking air too. So it must be that other back one, because I'm pretty sure one of them wouldn't hold air. We may have to pull it off and put us a junk spare on it. But let me see if I can get these pumped up and we'll get it on the trailer and get it to the shop. Well, I was badly mistaken. It's this front one up here. And the tire, well, it's completely off the bead. Let me get the jack out. We'll pull that wheel off and take it to the shop and put a tire on it. There's a dummy that parked it right next to that truck. Oh yeah, I'm too fat. All right. Well, my handy dandy sister called me a minute ago. Want me to get the rear end off this old frame right here. It's an old Ford truck he bought. He's using the body off of it. I told him I'd take it rear end and the wheels that come off of it. That's what's going on. The 81 F100 we're working on now. As soon as it gets set down, we'll get that rear end off of there. It'll be another 9-inch we got. Oh yeah. I've also decided to take the gas tank. It seems to be pretty good. Ta-da! let us get us. This is tires changed us. I know some of y'all have mentioned that I should have a blast of air coming from the bottom. I do. I wouldn't call it a blast. This is it right here. It's no more than what comes out of here. So it doesn't help. Nope. I ain't sure how long it'll stay aired up, so let's just go put it on in a hurry. Oh yeah, maybe we can get it on there. All right, I'm gonna go around this way. We're gonna climb it over that. Is it gonna hit? All right. That's good right there. Well, we got us another hot rod here in the shop. Y'all have heard me say before, I'd like to take some old rust bucket, rusted out, just looks terrible. Turn it into the meanest sleeper street machine you ever seen. This would make a pretty good one. Yeah, I ain't saying I'm going to, but it'd make a pretty good one, I believe. I wish it was a two-door, but anyways. Like I told y'all earlier, I've done just a little bit of research on it, mostly the motor, because to me it's a marvel. The engineers that developed this block, they were pretty slick. If I'm not mistaken, they designed it, the bore spacing, where they could go up to, I believe, a 500 cubic inch motor with just replacing the cylinder cores in the casting process. They left a lot of room in the crankcase for longer stroke too. They were planning on making some pretty serious motors, but unfortunately, Packard, I believe they closed up shop in '58. They only made these V8s in '55 and '56. So yeah, I did come across one guy. It's a few years ago. Built one of these. I don't remember if it was a 352, 374, or whatever it was, but he entered it into the Engine Masters competition, and it ended up making like 450 horsepower. I believe he used a big block Dodge tunnel ram for an intake. I think he had the stock cam reground. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he said the stock heads, untouched, flow 270 CFM. That's insane. It really is. We may hot rod this thing in the future. I don't know. I ain't got a clue. Right now, though, let me set y'all up on the stand. We'll get this old blanket out of the way, and well, we'll just go to fooling with it, see what we got. What do we have under this here blanket? And why is there a blanket in the engine bay? I guess they was covering up the carburetor device. I don't know. That would be some mice and rats come flying out of this thing too. What in the world? Goodness gracious, we got a bunch more right here. All right, I got most of the blanket out of the way. We'll have to vacuum here in a little while. But this here carburetor device, it's just a little old tube bubble. It is a, is it a Carter? It sort of looks like a, what are they called? A BBD, goes on Dodges. It resembles them. Anyway, I'm just looking to see if everything's here. The distributor is here. All the plug wires, there's a couple of them off. What else? As far as I can tell, fuel pump's there. Yep. Plug wires are off on most of them. I tell you what, I done grabbed hold of the fan here a while back just to see if it was stuck. She did not want to move. Oh yeah, she stuck pretty good. Let's pull the radiator fan. That'll let me get to the crank bolt a lot easier and put us a big old bar on it. See if we can't break it free. Oh yeah, that's that's stiff as a board right there. I don't want to get too rough with any of this because I priced a few parts. Let me tell you, woo, they ain't cheap. They didn't make very many of these things, so yeah, the partages are not cheap. The fella that I bought this from, if I'm not mistaken, told me when he bought this motor, was swapping it over, that it was stuck. He had to get it unstuck and then he got it running. I don't think he ever drove it. He just said every once in a while he would get in it, start it, and just move it back and forth. But he said it's been approximately 20 years since it's ran. Well, I don't think it's going to come out with the fan in the way. Let me see, maybe I can work around it. Let me cut the belt so I can turn the fan as I bring the radiator out. Well, the water pump's locked up. What in the world? Oh yeah. Ugh. I can't get the radiator out. Well, I decided to pull the fan off, get it out of the way. I wasn't sure, you know, some fans have really long bolts. I didn't know if this was going to have really long bolts or not. It turns out that they're short enough I can get them out of the way. I can get this last one out and get the fan out of the way and then pull this radiator out of here. Well, the fan come off now. Oh, look at here. One fan. Now, let's get this radiator out of the way. Hopefully I ain't tore it up. It's pretty old and fragile. I don't know, we'll have to check it in a while, see if it's got any holes in it. Well, that's good for it. Yep. All right, let me find a big old socket. Big old socket. Let's see what we get right here with this breaker bar. Will it or won't it? It will not. No, sir, just broke my I broke my extension. Well, that's good. I shouldn't have used that when it was a wobble end. Let me get the heavy duty stuff. Doggone it. I really like that too. I got the heavy duty stuff now. It's a 1-inch socket, by the way. Let's see what happens. I'm tightening the bolt. That's all that's happening. This sucker is locked up tight, let me tell you. Goodness gracious. Yeah. It ain't even thought about moving. Oh, yeah. No, sir. I'm going to break that bolt. Well, let's do the usual. Fill it up with acetones, transmission fluids, and wait. Working on the last 2 plugs. This wouldn't be a bad engine bay if it weren't for these stupid little ducting tubes. If they were not welded to the inner fender, they would be gone right now. Yep, I would rip them off and throw them away. Got some more vines. Ooh, this one here is coming out hard. Let me hit in it for some olive oil. Let's try this one right here, see what it feels like. Let me hit this with some olive oil. Maybe that'll help it out. This might be the problem cylinder because the rest of them, they come right out. Well, I dropped it on the floor. I'll get it and just look at them. This is the passenger side. They don't look too bad. These ones are a little bit rusty, that one and that one. And then driver's side, that's the only one that ain't rusty. The rest of them are pretty rusty crusty on down in there too. Yep. That one there is real bad. Only thing I know to do now, let's get the camera out, see what we can see. Then I'll go to fill them up with transmission fluid and acetone, I guess. What do we see in number 7? This is numbered like a small block Chevrolet, 24681-357 over here. What do we see? I see speckled rust on the cylinder wall, and then the piston, it's white, you know, like powder. You know how aluminum does when it goes to corroding? It's got white powder on it. Yeah, it's got some rust. What about the next one over here? This one here is at the close to the top. It's hard to tell. Piston is not white. Cylinder does have speckled rust. Oh, wait a minute, what is that? That piston, what in the world? Looks like part of it's missing. Ain't good. Yeah, it's a big old dugout spot. Let me look at this first one again and see if it looks like that. Well, it don't look like it. No, sir. Huh. That's very odd. Let's look at this next one. Number, what is this, 3? This is the one that was real stuck, the spark plug. About the same. Speckled rust on center wall and speckled white on the piston top. What about Cylindaro 10? Well, quite a bit of rust. It's at the top, but it's quite a bit of rust in it. Yeah, I can't really see the cylinder wall. Let's go back to that one that looked like it had a big gouge out of the piston. Look at it again. Very, very weird. Let me get the camera and see if I can't show y'all. I don't know how well y'all can see this. Probably not at all. Right there, about the middle of the screen, is a dugout spot at the edge of that piston. That's just odd looking to me. Anyway, let me go over here and check the other side, and then we'll go to putting stuff in them. Well, number 6 and number 8 over here had lots of rust flakes. Kind of weird looking. One of them over there was the same way. Don't know what that means, but about the only thing we can do is fill her up and hope eventually it's going to break free. I gotta get my light where I can see when it runs out of the cylinder. All right, let me get the other side. And then we wait. We got them all filled up. I figured let's put a pipe wrench on this here water pump. See if we can get that thing to free up a little bit. Oh, man. No. No, certainly that ain't gonna happen. Tell you what. Let's pull it off. Yeah. Let's pull it off. See what we can do with it. I'm gonna break them loose, make sure ain't none of them gonna break off. Then I'll go get the gun to quickly remove them. Well, did I leave a bolt in or is it just froze? Huh. There it is. She is rusty too, the impeller anyways. Lots of rust down in the housing too. We'll have to clean that out. Let's see if we can get this little fella here to break free. Water pump it's in pretty bad shape. Yep. Here's your impeller right there, and then here's your part of the case. Well, there's no clearance there because they are completely rusted together. Yep. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Just out of curiosity, I got online and looked up what a water pump would cost for a 1956 Clipper Deluxe with a 352 cubic inch V8 engine. $250 on eBay. Yep, sure enough. I did find a used one for $55. So if I can't do nothing with this one here, we may have to buy it. But let me whoop on this a little bit and maybe it'll break free. I think what I'll do is put it in the vise. We'll peck on this top. Maybe we can break it loose. I don't know, probably not, but gotta try something, fellas. I ain't gonna get rough with it. We could break this edge right here. Yeah, she's pretty solid. Well, it actually looks like it may have broke free. I can see a little crack line all the way around it. Let me fool with it a little bit more. We might actually be able to use this water pump. Let me see if I can't get her chucked up here. Get our pipe wrench right here. See if it'll turn now. Will it or won't it? Look here, fellers. It is turning. Very slowly, but it is turning. We might win this battle. Oh, yeah. Let me work with it a little bit and I'll be back. Well, I got some bad news. Yep. The impeller, well, it just fell apart. I wasn't hitting on it. I had it sitting up here like it was, pecking on it, and, well, it just fell apart. Just old and brittle. Cast iron, it looks like. Well, I figured since it's already broke, let's get a little rough with it. So I went to whooping on the impeller with the hammer, and it is moved on the shaft. So that's a real good sign. I figured that would never move, but it is. But what it was is, where's that little clip? Let me find it. I'll find it. Here it is. This clip was stuck down in here. Well, that bearing has got a groove. I've done knocked it that way where you can't see it. But that clip went in that groove in the bearing, and that's what held that in place. That's when I took this out and whooped on it a little bit. That's what made it turn. Let's see if we can get that impeller off there. There went the rest of it. This ain't working out like I wanted it to. We might need to get on the press. Let's do that. See if it'll come out that way. I got a bearing separator around it. That might help us out a little bit. Oh yeah, it's coming right on out. Let's see if it's all the way through. Oh yeah, look at there. Ta-da! Well, at least we got the water pump tore apart. I have no clue if you can get parts, you know, like the impeller and bearings and whatnot. Probably not, but I will check here in a little bit. I reckon we've done about all we can tonight. Hopefully that thing will soak, and fingers crossed, say prayers and everything else, that thing will break free tomorrow. Yes, sir. Anyways, I'm going in the house, do a little research on the motor. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, it's been a couple of days since we fooled with this thing. The whatchamacallit has been sitting in the cylinders for a couple of days now, and well, fella, she ain't going nowhere. Let me show you real quick, like, put this big ratchet on here. You know, watch that pulley right there. I'm gonna pull with everything I got. Oh yeah, it ain't moving. No, sir. I believe I could break the bolt before that crankshaft would turn. Well, let me show you something here real quick, like, that's pretty much stopped this little will it run. That's the oil dipstick right there. See that rust? Yeah, that ain't good. Nope. I was curious as to what in the world could have caused that, because, you know, as far as I know, it's had the hood on it the whole time. So I thought, how in the world could it have filled up with water that much? Well, stuck my camera down in the dipstick tube there and got to the end of it, and it was just, I don't know, a bunch of crap. So I got me a piece of oil thread, run it down in there, expecting to hit the oil pan and oil. No, it's like real cushiony feeling. So I got my camera back out and run it down in there again. I could see a little bit better after I had ran that oil thread in there. And it looks like the Mises have just completely filled that oil pan with whatever. I don't know. I don't know how they got in there because, well, here's the oil fill. That's been on there. I just took that off a while ago. I don't see a road draft tube. I don't know how they got in there. I really and truly don't. But after seeing all that, and this thing, it just will not move, we're going to shove her out and get it out of my way for now. Let me finish this truck. We'll come back to this. We're going to pull the motor and tear it down at least. I have priced rod and main bearings, and let me tell you, fellas, yeah, this motor probably won't be rebuilt by me. No. Bearings alone, well, rod and main bearings is going to be about $500. Yep, that's insane. Ain't no telling what cam bearings cost too, and yeah, I can't afford to rebuild this motor unless I run across some bearings that are cheap. I'll keep looking. But anyways, we're going to get this thing out of here, and we might come back to it later. Well, it's been approximately a month since I have worked on this heaping pile of nothingness. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Let me tell you, the last 2 or 3 hours trying to get it from here to where it's at now. Wow. Yep, chock full of MLS. Let me tell you, MLS never rests. Anyways, here's the plan for this car right now. You know, it's locked up tight. So what I want to do, let's pull the motor out. And I'm very curious as to what is in that oil pan. That's got me bumfuzzled. That's why I'm going to pull the motor, pull the pan, see what's going on. And if it ain't in too bad a shape, we may pull the whole thing apart if we can, you know, get the pistons and everything unstuck. See if we can't rebuild it. I would like to hear it run. I sure would. It all depends on if the main and rod bearings are okay, because I can't afford to spend $500 just on bearings. No, sir. The old silver bullet, she drained me. She drained my bank account there for a little bit. So, yeah. Hopefully, everything's okay. It's just stuck, and the oil pan, like I said, I don't know what's going on with it. Anyways, let's pull it out, get it tore apart. But before we do that, you know, it's been sitting there for a month with the transmission fluids and the acetones in the cylinders. Let's put a socket on the crank. Let's just see what happens. Let us see if it's going to turn over or not. No, sir. She's still locked up tight. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nope. No, sir. Let's pull it out of there and see what we got. You might be wondering, well, why is it in the air if we're gonna pull the motor? Well, we gotta get the transmission out of the way. Plus, I just wanted to look under it, see what it looked like. Right in this area, well, you see the mud on the top of the bottom of the frame. She was buried, and the frame still looks pretty good. You know, you'd figured after years of being buried in the mud like that you'd have some rust, but no, sir. It's jam-packed up in there. It still ain't rusted. That's pretty good, yep. Anyways, it does look pretty good other than, well, we need a gas tank. Hello, anybody in there? Yeah, that's rusted out pretty good. But overall, underneath there looks pretty good. Well, I just noticed the drive shaft's gone. Well, how did this feller drive it without a drive shaft? And let me show you this. I got under it the other day looking for something. And right here, well, we ain't got no starter. So I'm starting to think that this motor never ran. Yep, that's my thinking. Anyways, we're gonna pull it out and see if we can't make it run. Let's start with the transmission. I gotta get this little cross member out. We got cooler lines over here. What else? Shifty shift. It's right up in here. We gotta get that loose. And then the bell house bolts and it should come right out. Where is my ratchet? Here it is. I found it. I got the transmission cooler lines loose. I got the exhaust loose from the motor. Working on these bolts for this monstrosity of a dust cover. It's cast iron. I'm telling you, it's heavy duty. Yeah. I'm hoping if I pull this off, we can get to all the torque converter bolts, because the motor's stuck. We can't spin it to get to all of them. I'm hoping that we can if we get this dust cover off. Oh, yeah, well, okay, excuse me. Sorry, did not mean to hit the camera. I lose stuff, man, I tell you, my brain is shot, fellas, I'm telling you. Shot. Now, is that all of the bolts that hold this cover on? It's all that I see. Let me see if I can get it off of there. There's dowel pins up in this here. Yep, that's why it ain't coming out very easily. I got one side broke free. Come on out of there, little buddy. What in the world? No. Woo! Finally. Good gracious. Where is the monstrosity right here? I guess it's sort of like a full bell housing, but it splits. Yep. I'm assuming it's so thick and heavy because the starter bolts right here, but yeah, I ain't never seen one like that. What we're fixing to do now, I guess we'll get the jack under here, take a cross member loose, and I got, I think, 4 bell housing bolts to get, and then it should come on out. Jack-a-lacka. Let's jack-a-lacka this thing on up in the air. Notice how, I've complained about this transmission jack before being too short, and I have to lower the lift, and well, then my neck is all crooked like this. Well, I finally used my brain. I said, let's get us some wood blocks to put in there. Yep. All right. Let me get bell housing bolts out, and then we'll work on this. I'm having to employ a few extinctions to get to this last bolt up here on the top. Ta-da! Oh yeah! Last bolt on the cross member. All right. Transmission is almost ready to come out. Our motor mounts are way up here at the front of the block right there. So when we take a transmission loose right there, that motor's going to drop. So I got me a, ratchet strap. I got to string it along here under the oil pan to support the motor, and then we get that transmission out. Well, I have no idea if this is going to hold it or not. I'm having to put it on the pitman arm over here, and then I guess that's a stabilizer arm on the steering on this side. I ain't got a clue if it'll hold or not. I guess we're gonna find out though. I can only get to 2 torque converter bolts, so it's gonna have to stay with the motor. So let me see if I can't separate the transmission and the motor and then get this little fella out of the way. I wonder if we can get the motor to turn over with this flywheel. Let's just see. Oh no, no. That motor is stuck bad, let me tell you. Anyway, let me see if I can't get this to work loose. Yeah. Well, it might help if I take out all of the bell housing bolts. So let me do that and then I'll be right back. Yeah, it always helps to take out all bolts when you're trying to remove something. Now what's it gonna do? Oh yeah, she's moving now. Where'd my pry bar go? Ah, dang it. Oh yeah. Well, we've got a predicament here. We got to go back far enough to get it out of the torque converter, but we got an X-frame in the way, so I'm not sure how you're supposed to do this. Interesting. Wait a minute. I got a kick down cable right here. All right, now I got that loose. Let's see if it'll come out. Probably not, because we're hitting right here. Oh yeah, that helped a lot. Let's see. I still ain't clear of the, Well, fellas, I don't know what we're gonna do here other than put it back together and take the whole thing out. Yep. Let's do that. Let me put a couple bolts back in it because we don't have enough room to bring it back. Well, I got it bolted back to the motor and I put this cross member back in because I had to have something back here to support this back end. But I took the motor mount off because, well, as you can see how it's made, it sits over top of that cross member. Plus, it's got these studs sticking down. So you ain't gonna scoot it over, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, let me see what else I got to break free. The motor mounts, and then anything else I can see, and then we'll lower it, and I guess we'll go to pulling the whole thing out at once. Well, I don't know how much of that debacle I'm going to show. That was a waste of time. I wasted probably an hour and a half trying to pull that transmission out. But anyways, we are back up top. The only thing I like is one bolt on the transmission mount. I think I'm going to remove the generator just, because it's sort of hanging out there in the way. Got to pull the carb and hopefully my lift plate will bolt. If not, we'll drill some holes. Then we got to pull the hood off, and then we'll be pulling this big heavy, they are pretty heavy from what I understand, pulling this big heavy motor out of here, hopefully. What does it take to get the generatory device out of the way? Just some wrenches. That's all we need, some wrenches. All right, let's see if I can get this little fella out of here. Well, ow! Oh, that hurt. Man, that hurt so bad. Come on, man. There we go. Let me get this motor mount bolt. Let's get the carburetor device off real quick, like, hopefully. All right. I got another line right here. Got to get off firstly. What is that? Oh, that's the fuel line. Duh. All right, is it ready to come off now? Yes, except I got another line. My goodness, how many dead blind lines has this thing got? Now, finally, does the lift plate fit? I think it will. I get this vacuum line out of the way. Did it go then? Yeah. All right. Well, let me get these nuts tightened up. I'll get the hood off and we'll go to pulling this thing out. I have a feeling we're going to run into the same problem we've run into before. I think my lift ain't high enough to get this out of here. We'll just have to do whatever. Probably have to take the wheels off and let the car down, but we're going to give her the old try. She's coming up. Let's see if we can't go forwards. So we got a heater box and something else has got us. Because she won't come on. There we go. I brought her up just a wee bit and it come on up. So I don't know how we're gonna get this out of here. I really don't. Because we're stuck already. Sure enough is. If it didn't have this stupid thing right here, it'd make it a lot easier. I ain't sure that I ain't fixing to cut that out. Because it's welded to these brackets here. Let's do that. Let me cut this out of the way. That's gonna make things a whole lot easier for us. Let me get up in there and make sure I ain't got nothing hanging on. Oh, my knees, oh, my knees. I don't see nothing. No, take that back. There's a heater hose. Let me see if I can't cut it. Get it out of the way. Oh, yeah. Where are you, little buddy? All right, took care of that. Going up. Maybe. Nope, we're hitting the firewall. So let me go down a little bit. May have to cut that little bar out there too. Yeah. Let me go ahead and cut it. Now can we come forward any? We're still hanging up on something. Let me get a light and look at it. The exhaust, I need to go up to get around it. Or maybe I can twist it. Let me see if I can twist it. Now is it out of the way? Oh yeah. Let's see if we can't pull it forward. A little bit. Let's go on up, man. Oh yeah, we're looking better all the time. Look at here, look at here. We're almost out. Let me go up now. Yeah, I can tell this conglomerate of steel and cast iron is very, very heavy. Ta-da! Let's separate this transmission real quick. That's a weird looking setup right there. Sure enough. I'm no connoisseur of Packards or Packard transmissions, but that part there, it spins, but it normally stays in the transmission. I ain't got a clue. I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to be. I might do a little studying on that. That's just a weird looking torque converter though. See all them bolts going around it? Huh. I'll do a little studying on that. Anyways, I think I'm fixing to call it a day. My knees are barking at me. Today is Saturday, by the way, so that means tomorrow's Sunday. Sunday's a day rest is what I plan on doing. I hope y'all do the same. I'll see y'all Monday. We'll start tearing that motor down. 'Tis a very, very chilly Monday here in Tennessee. It is a whopping 17 degrees outside. Quite cold. I think it got down to like 6 last night. The old fiery dragon quit on me sometime last night, so I had to revive it. It's quite chilly out here too. That one up there and those two diesel heaters over there have been running for about an hour, and it's a whopping 38 degrees, I believe, 36 to 38 over on the wall. That's cold, fellas. I ain't working in the cold. No, sir. I'm gonna go get the bullet heater, torpedo heater, whatever you want to call it. See if I can't warm it up in here. It's gonna stink, but at least it'll be warm. If it don't warm up, well, y'all might have a shortened video. I don't like being cold. Anyways, let me go get it. Let's warm it up in here, and we'll go to working on that motor, getting it tore apart. I got the old torpedo heater fired up, and let me tell you, goodness gracious, that thing stinks. How in the world did I used to work with that? I ran it till it warmed up to about 50 degrees. That's a fool on you, turning you off. We're gonna have to build us a fiery dragon for the shop. I think I'm gonna start fooling with it this week. Probably won't video it, fellas, because them kind of videos, they just don't do well. I'll just build it in my spare time. And hopefully we can get it built in a few days. Matter of fact, last night I started buying parts that I need to build it. So yeah, I'll probably start on it sometime this week. Anyway, what I'm doing right now, trying to get this torque converter off here. You know, we can't spin the motor, so I can't get to them other than this right here. I got my ratchet wrench on this one. I think I can reach the other one. It's jam-packed full of mouse house stuff. I gotta clean it out. Hopefully we can get to that nut and get it loose, and then get this torque converter off. Then we can put it on the engine stand. Anyways, let me work on this, and when I get this done, I'll be back. Well, here's the deal, fellers. I've gotten 3 of the nuts off. This one right up here, I believe it's rounded off. I can barely get to it. I had to make me a special wrench right here. I had to, you know how they're crooked. Well, I had to flatten that end out, and then I welded me extension so I could get up in there. Well, I think it's rounded off, so we ain't doing no good. I could take the torque converter apart, get rid of this half, that way we get it on the engine stand. I really don't want to do that though. What I'm fixing to do, we're gonna drop her down. Well, I'm gonna, it probably ain't got no oil in it from, you know, looking inside of it, but just in case, I'm gonna take the drain plug out. If there's any oil, drain it. We're gonna let her down. I'm gonna flop her on her head, pull the oil pan off, and see if we can't get the rod caps off, and then maybe we can get the crank turned and get to that other nut. Ain't a dead blame drop. That's all rusty. Showed up. Let me get the light and shine it in there. Well, it stopped up. No, sir. It's just rust and garbage. That ain't a good sign, fellas. Let me get it sat down on his head and take his oil pan off. All right, let's roll this big fella over on his head. Hopefully I don't break nothing, including parts of my body. Hey, now. Oh, this is a chubby little fella right here. Good gracious. What in the world? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I probably should have took that distributor off. Oh, man, look at here. Yep, I think I just destroyed the distributor cap. Plus, I forgot about the acetone and transmission fluid in the cylinders. I had to clean that up. Blood, there's been a murder. I've been wondering what this little feller here was. The radiator hoses go through it. Well, the transmission cooler lines go to it too. So I'm assuming it's a transmission cooler. Kind of odd looking. Come on, man. All right. See if I can get these out, or am I gonna have to take a dad blame dipstick tube off? What in the world kind of engineering garbage is this? What in the devil? All right, get that little fella out of the way. That motor mount is just about to separate. They're probably $500 a piece. Speaking of things costing an exorbitant amount of money, that oil pan's got a hole in it right there. Look at there. Y'all can't see it, but yeah, I can stick my finger through it. Anyways, what was I talking about? Then forgot. Oh, didn't have a starter. You can buy a rebuilt one off of eBay for $400. Yeah, that's crazy. I found a used one. It's on the way. I think I give $80 for it. Yeah. Also, remember the water pump? We messed up the impeller. Bought a used one of them off eBay for $50. I'm hoping I can find bearings for it. We'll just put new bearings in it. Anyways, let's get this Earl pan off here. I found a gasket set. I think it was on eBay too. It was $250. That's a little ridiculous, I think, too, but gonna have to buy it. Yep, gotta have it. Sort of. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yep, that's exactly what I thought we would see. What in the world? Good gracious alive. I have never, in all my born days of almost 52 years, ever seen anything like this. Wow. Holy crap-oly. I have never, ever seen anything like this. How? Somebody tell me how the Mises got down in there. I don't know. There's no hole in the valve cover that I have seen. How did they get in here? What in the world? Just look at this. Wow. Let me get this cleaned out of the way and let's see what the crank looks like. That is a layer of rust and then the mouse house on top of it. Goodness gracious, what in the devil? Here's something metal. That's probably, yeah, that's a screen. It's part of the pickup tube that's gone. I'm probably gonna get the hantavirus handling all this stuff. Sure enough. Tell you what, let me get my big vacuum cleaner out. We'll just vacuum it. I think my vacuum is tearing up. What in the devil? Yep, I think that's it for that vacuum cleaner. Sure enough. Let me get you in here and let you see it a little bit closer. It's pretty bad. Yep. See how the pistons have turned white from corrosion. It's just, yeah, lots and lots of rust. The oil pan, I don't know if it's salvageable. It's got holes all in here and one there, and I don't know. I still would like to hear the thing run. Let's pull some main caps and rod caps off. Let's just see what the crank and bearings look like. That's what's going to determine if we keep fooling with this thing or not. Pull the rod cap off firstly. Well, there's Earl in there, so that's a good sign. I can't even see where it parts. This ain't good. No. It's sort of separated. Oh, she moved a little bit then. One side anyway. Well, when I get this off, if I get this off, I'll be back and show y'all what we got. I'm working on the one next to it, and it has broke free, I think. Yeah, I think so. It ain't like a small block Chevrolet, got a little lip hanging out that you can peck on. No, sir. It ain't got that. I managed to get one of them off. I'm trying to get that one next to it to come off next. It's moving on one side. Oh, look here. It just moved. Oh, yeah. Come on off there, little buddy. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? There we go. It left the bearing. Let me get it off. We'll have a look-see at both of them and the crank. Well, I got them cleaned up, and let me tell you, they're kind of rough. Yep, they got stuff attached to them. I'm assuming it's rust. This one here, what is this, a number 30, has a groove wore in the middle of it. But all I want to do is hear the thing run, possibly drive it. So that right there, you know, is pretty good here for, you know, MLS Emporium, backyard butchery capital of the world. Yeah, that's probably good enough. But this crank, I don't know that it'll ever clean up unless you turn it, and then I got to buy bearings, and that's $500, and I don't want to do that. So I don't know. It's not in the best of shapes. No. Let me work on this, get all these rod and main caps off. It's liable to take me 2 or 3 hours because, you know, they're pretty bad. Anyways, let me work on this. My main goal right now is to get that crank out. Then we can get her on the engine stand, and I don't know. We'll do something. Let me continue working on it. Well, here's where we're at. It's been at least 2 hours later, but I did get all rod and main caps off, except for this one right here. I couldn't even get to that nut. Couldn't get a socket nor a wrench on it, so ended up cutting it off with a chisel. Well, now I can't get the cap off. It's hitting the cylinder right there. So here's what I'm going to do. I got to get the whole front end off, get the timing chain loose. Hopefully we can pry the crank up, get that cap off, and keep on prying and get the whole crank out of the way. That's the plan, but y'all know how my plans go. They usually don't go very well. Anyways, let me tear this front end off. Apparently the pulley is made into it, so well, I think it's actually moving. Let me see if I can get it off without busting it. Yeah, it's coming off. Ta-da! Water pump housing is next, I guess. What's got me? Nothing. Oh, it line right there. What the devil is that for? Let me get a wrench and get that off. By wrench, I mean shanty locks. Well, I'm too lazy to get up and go over to the toolbox. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, get out of here. Timing chain cover, I think that's about it. It's like a Ford fuel pump eccentric is right here. There's your fuel pump. There she is. Yep. Just like a dang old Ford. I guess that's an oil slinger, like a, is it FEs that have that? It's a shield is what it is, really. A chain, well, it's got some slop to it. Gotta get this here cam gear off. I don't know, it's not moving. Let's see what 2 pry bars will do, sir. Well, it come right off. Huh. Have you ever in your life? Yes, every day. All right. There's the timing set. I don't see any dots or anything. I'll have to study up on how you time that. Now, let me reposition y'all. Let's see if we can get that crankshaft out of there. Let us go to prying, sir. Oh yeah, I think we're pretty much out. My back's already hurting. Whew, this thing gonna be fun. No, sir! Oh yeah, that is really, really heavy. Oh my goodness. Woo! Son of a gun. Well, there it is, and that is a huge battle that we have won, but the war ain't over yet. No, sir. Next battle, getting these pistons out. Let me get it on the engine stand. We'll go to whooping on them. Hopefully we don't bust them. Well, I got her tore down, got the heads off, got the intake off. I figured out how the little fellers got down in the oil pan and wreaked havoc. Right here. This is the valley pan. Sits right there. That's your road draft tube, comes out the back here. Take that off, and then had this little cover that was down in there. Well, you can see all the garbagery that they decided to put in there. Yep. Anyways, let me get this vacuumed out, and pretty sure that cam will never come out. Pretty sure the lifters will never come out. Well, we're gonna give her the old try. Anyways, let me get that vacuumed out, and then we'll go to whooping on these pistons. Maybe they'll move, maybe they won't. Well, they or won't they come loose. I done whooped on this one with my Maraca hammer. I believe it moved a little bit. Just a little bit. We're gonna whoop on it some more. I'm probably going to have to go get a bigger Hummer though. I can't tell if it's moving or not. Yeah, it has moved a little bit, ain't it? Yep. All right, let's try this in here. I'm just feeling of the ring ridge. It don't feel like there's too much there. What about this one? Will it do anything? I can't tell if any of them are moving. Let me get a tape measure and measure them, and that way we can tell for sure. Right here we got 1 inch and almost 3/4. Let's whoop on it and see if it's gonna move on us or not. Where we at? 1 inch and same place. Yep, it ain't moving. Let's work on this in a little bit, see what it'll do. Wait a minute, gotta measure it. Pretty sure that one has moved. Let's measure this one. 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Yeah, it moved about 1/8 of an inch. So that's good. Let's see what this in here do. This one is at 2 3/8. It felt like it was moving. Oh yeah, it moved almost 1/4 inch. Let me check the other side. See if any of these fellers are gonna move on us. This one here is pretty well even with the top. If it's moving, I don't see it. No, sir. Let me whoop on it with this. That feller there's solid. Yes, sir. This one here is at 2 7/16. This side over here is, yeah, pretty solid. Yep, they moved a bit. This one here, we're at roughly 2 or 1 3/4. It felt like it was moving. No, it ain't. Well, what about this last one here? 3.5. Nope, pretty solid. Pretty solid. It ain't moved. Well, I gotta take a break. I'm not gonna make y'all watch me just whoop on this with the Hummer for it ain't no telling how long. So when I get them moving around, I'll be back. Well, I looked at the bottom of the cylinders with a light, and I see why they won't move. I'm trying to drive them out this way, which, that's why they have to come out. This one here is moving, so it should come out here for too long. Tell you what, let me lay something down because I don't want to bust that piston. Let me lay this here rubber mat down. Now maybe we won't destroy a piston. Oh yeah, we just about out. I need a smaller piece of wood. Let me work on my wood for a minute. All right, I cut her down a little bit so it'll fit down in that where the bearing goes in that rod. Here she comes. Ta-da! Oh, she's pretty nasty. I do think it'll clean up. Yeah. Rings. Yeah, we'll probably have to have a set of rings, but this is very promising. Man, let's just look at the rust on that rod. This is very promising, though. Let me see if I can't get the rest of them out. Yeah, that in there ain't moving at all. Let's move on to a different one. What about this one here? It's all the way at the bottom pretty much. Woo-wee, fellers, I'm gonna tell you what. This is gonna be a job right here. It sure is. I got the big Hummer. That rod is stuck. It won't move. There it goes a little bit. All right, here's the big Hummer. Ooh, man, that is solid. Goodness gracious alive. I'm afraid I'm gonna bend the rod. I think that in there moved. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, this done moved quite a bit. Let me move my rubber mat over here. She's coming out. There she is. Well, that's 2 out. This is that's number 2. Let me put the cap with it before I forget. Here's the deal, fellers. Y'all know I don't like stuff besting me, but yeah, this right here's got the best of me. I have beat and beat and beat, and the pistons are not coming out. Nope. I flipped it over, and this one, I hit them from the top and got them to move, I don't know, ½ inch. Flipped it back over, and I beat the devil out of them, and they will not budge. It's just like hitting steel. Yep, so I think it's time to call it. Well, I'm not giving up. But if I keep beating on them, I'm going to bust them pistons, and I don't want to do that because I really do want to hear this motor run. So what I'm going to do, we're going to drop this off in a 55-gallon drum of diesel, or I don't know. I got a lot of used motor oil. It might pour it full of that. Anyway, let it set and soak for 2 or 3 months. Come back, pull it out, and fingers crossed that, you know, they'll free up and we'll get all of them out, get it cleaned up, and hear this thing run, because I want to hear it run. But for now, we're going to have to call it. I'll be the first to tell you I do not want to give up. No, sir. I don't like giving up, but I can't spend that much time on this motor just trying to get these pistons out and all. It's liable to take a week of beating on that thing. I don't want to keep beating on it because I'm afraid I'm going to bust the pistons. And anyway, we'll come back to it eventually. Before I end the video, I need to talk about something serious. Well, you remember here a couple weeks ago I told you that I gained about 10,000 subscribers last year, but I've lost 5,000 to 10,000 views. This is how I gauge how well a video is doing, by the views it gets within the first week. Last year we were getting, well, like on the 40, when I was doing the 40, we was getting 30 to 35,000 views that first week. Well, I've gained 10,000 subscribers last year, and I've lost 5,000 to 10,000 views per week on videos now. They're getting about 25,000 views in the first week. And I don't know what's going on. Well, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. The money that I'm going to make for January is pitiful. If that happens another 2 or 3 months, this and that garage will be no more. And I'm not being dramatic. That's just how it is, fellers. I can't live on the money I have made for January. And I feel like I'm begging. I really don't want to do this, but I got to do something because I do want to keep the channel alive. The reason I'm telling all y'all this is, well, I don't think YouTube has promoted the channel for a while. I'm talking like a year or better. My Will It Runs used to do pretty good. They're not anymore. Well, the last one we did on that maroon Dodge, the flatbed in the woods, I think it's sitting at 40,000 views right now. That's pretty pitiful compared to what my Will It Runs used to do. Like I said, I don't think YouTube's promoting the channel anymore. Basically, the only people that see what I'm putting out are y'all, the ones that are watching now. YouTube has ran off algorithms. I don't even pretend to understand it, but here's what I would like to try, and I need y'all to do it. I can't do any of this without y'all anyways. Like I said, I got like 83 or 84,000 subscribers. I get 25,000 views per week. We're getting 200 to 300 comments per video, and we're getting 3,000 or 4,000 likes per video. That's a small percentage compared to subscribers or even people watching the video. If even half of the people that watch the video will go and hit the like button and leave a 1, 2, 3 word comment, shock the system basically, and make YouTube say, hey, look here, this guy's getting a whole lot more comments, a whole lot more likes. Maybe he's doing something different now. Let's start promoting him again. That's my thought anyway. But I can't do it without y'all. So when I tell you at the end of each video, please like, comment, subscribe, and all, I'm not saying that just to say it. I mean it. I've got to have those things to survive. So if you don't mind, please go like, comment. You've probably already subscribed. If not, please do that. Share it. And maybe eventually YouTube will pick us back up. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Please go do all that. See y'all later. Go do something. Blur, blur.